You're not calm. You're domesticated, trained to swallow anger so others can disrespect you safely. Real calm is predator silence, controlled, unreadable, and lethal with consequences. You've been lied to about calm. They sold you a soft version, calm as politeness, calm as being the bigger man, calm as swallowing disrespect, so the room stays comfortable. That isn't calm. That is domestication. A domesticated man stays quiet because he fears conflict. He fears being seen as too much. He fears losing approval. So he calls his silence maturity. He calls his tolerance strength. But predators don't read your intentions. They read your boundaries. And when your calm is just suppressed anger with no consequence behind it, people don't fear you. They use you. So let's reframe it with the Machiavellian lens. Calm is not kindness. Calm is control. Control of the body. Control of the face. Control of the tongue. Control of timing, control of access. Real calm is not warm, it's not friendly, it's not comforting. Real calm is the stillness of a hunter who already decided what happens next. That's why it scares people. Because most humans live by emotional leakage. They broadcast their insecurity, their need, their fear, through tone, speed, posture, and over-explaining. They beg without words. They chase without moving. They signal, handle me. A calm man does the opposite. He gives nothing away. He doesn't rush to defend himself. He doesn't perform innocence. He doesn't fill silence. He doesn't negotiate his dignity. He lets the other person sit in the vacuum they created. That vacuum is power, because the first thing people try to control is your reaction. If they can control your reaction, they can control your behavior. If they can control your behavior, they control your position in the hierarchy. So understand the truth you weren't taught. Calm is a dominance signal when it makes you unreadable. Unreadable men cannot be steered. Most men think fear comes from loudness. Wrong. Loud men are easy to map, easy to provoke, easy to bait, easy to predict. The room knows exactly what to do with a hothead. Push a button, watch him burn, then frame him as unstable. But the calm man, the room can't find the button. And when people can't find the button, they feel something they hate: uncertainty. Uncertainty is the birthplace of fear. This is why be calm advice fails. It's usually therapy language. It tells you to breathe, to relax, to choose peace. It tries to turn calm into a moral virtue. That's weak framing. Calm isn't virtue. Calm is advantage. In war, the man who panics dies first. In politics, the man who reacts gets played. In social hierarchies, the man who shows emotion on command becomes entertainment for stronger men. So we're not building peace. We're building a weapon, controlled presence. Now here's the crucial distinction you must install in your head before we go further: passive calm versus predatory calm. Passive calm is you staying quiet while being disrespected, hoping it stops. That isn't calm, that's fear of enforcement. Passive calm is what weak men call not escalating. Predatory calm is you staying quiet because you're evaluating, because you're choosing the response that costs them the most while costing you the least, because you're not governed by emotion, you're governed by strategy. Predatory calm has teeth, and those teeth don't show through shouting. They show through consequences delivered without emotion. That's why calm becomes fear, not because you're silent, but because your silence signals you're not easily moved, and your actions signal you're not safe to disrespect. One more truth: people don't fear calm because it's calm. They fear calm because it suggests restraint, and restraint implies capability. If you can restrain yourself, it means you could do more, and you're choosing not to. That choice feels dangerous to people who rely on chaos and provocation to win. So this is a lens shift. You stop trying to be calm to look good, and you start becoming calm to become unmanageable. Not a monk, not a nice guy, not a motivational poster, a sovereign, because the only calm that earns fear is the calm that's backed by a decision. I don't need to react. I can enforce. authority isn't granted by your words. It's granted by the room's nervous system responding to yours. Most men don't understand this because they think power is intellectual, logic, arguments, evidence, being right. But humans don't submit to the smartest man. They submit to the man who feels stable under pressure. Stability under pressure reads as capability, and capability shifts rank. Here's the mechanism. Your nervous system broadcasts your position. Before you say anything, your body tells the room whether you're prey, equal, or predator. Fast speech signals urgency. Urgency signals need. Over-explaining signals fear of rejection. Defensive tone signals vulnerability. Emotional spikes signal you can be steered. Constant smiling signals appeasement. Those are not personality traits. Those are tells. And the room reads them instinctively. That's why calm creates fear when it's real. It removes the tells. It blocks access to your internal state. And when people can't read you, they can't safely test you. Now understand the Machiavellian law behind it. Whoever controls their reaction controls the exchange. If your opponent can make you react, they set the pace, the topic, and the frame. They can lead you like a chain. They can pull you into explaining, apologizing, defending, chasing. Reaction is compliance. That's why provocation is so common. It's not childish. It's strategic. People provoke you to see if they can move you. Move you emotionally, move you verbally, right arrow, move you behaviorally. Once they learn they can move you, your status drops. Because in hierarchy, the moved man is the managed man. So we're not aiming for inner peace. We're aiming for reaction immunity. Reaction immunity is what makes you feel dangerous to people, because it implies they can't hijack you. They can't control your temperature. They can't pull you off center. And when they can't pull you off center, they lose their favorite advantage, making you look unstable. The two-level control system, this is what people see: face, posture, voice, pacing. Most men try to control calm at this level only. They fake a neutral face while their mind is boiling. That fails because microleaks still show. Tightening jaw, forced smile, faster breathing, twitchy hands, defensive tone. The room detects the leak and knows you're performing. Performers don't scare anyone. Performers are bait. This is the true level. Calm becomes fear when you're not calm because you're suppressing emotion. You're calm because you already decided your response and you trust your ability to enforce it. Decision control is, I know what I'll do if this continues. That knowledge settles your body. A man who has a plan doesn't panic. So calm that produces fear isn't just quiet. It's pre-committed consequence. That's why your calm has to be paired with boundaries later. But first, you need the mechanism installed. People feel authority when you are unmoved. Why the room respects the unmoved man? Because social dynamics are constant micro-negotiations. Everyone is scanning who can be pressured, who needs approval, who is emotionally expensive to fight, who will retaliate if crossed. The calm man communicates one thing: I am emotionally expensive to manipulate. Not loud, not aggressive, just expensive. And that expense triggers fear in the right people: the baiters, the mockers, the status climbers, because their entire game requires access to your reactions. Now the harsh truth: if your calm is only not reacting, it won't last, because suppression creates pressure, and pressure eventually explodes. The calm that lasts is built on a different source: the ability to delay response. Delay is dominance. When someone provokes you and you respond instantly, you are under their timing. When you delay, pause, assess, then speak minimally, you take timing back. Timing control is power control. In war, the side that controls tempo wins. In conversation, the man who controls tempo becomes the frame setter. So the mechanism for fear-inducing calm is simple. Remove emotional leakage, control tempo, pre-commit consequences, speak minimally and precisely. This is how nervous system control becomes authority. The room begins to feel that you are not a man they can play with. And when people can't play with you, they start to fear you quietly. The moment you become calm in the predatory sense, unmoved, unreadable, controlled, the room splits into two groups: those who respect it, those who feel threatened by it. The threatened ones will test you, not because they're evil, because your calm exposes their strategy. And exposed strategists panic, so you need archetype recognition. If you don't know what you're dealing with, you'll misread provocation as rudeness and respond like a polite civilian. This is power terrain. You respond like a commander. Here are the main archetypes that react to your calm and what they're trying to extract. This one lives off reactions. They throw hooks, sarcasm, insults, jokes, disrespect disguised as humor. Their goal is simple: make you react, then frame you as unstable. Because once you react, they control the narrative. See, he's angry, he's insecure, he can't handle it. Your calm is dangerous to them because it denies the payoff. So they escalate. Bigger jokes, sharper jabs, pushing your boundaries in public. They're fishing for a bite. Counterread. They don't want truth, they want movement. If you stay still, they starve. This archetype uses ridicule to steal rank. They don't argue your point. They make you the point, turning you into the joke, the try-hard, the serious guy. Ridicule is a social weapon because it recruits the room. When others laugh, your status drops without a fight. Your calm threatens them because calm blocks humiliation. You don't flinch, you don't defend, you don't plead for fairness. So they intensify the performance, trying to force the room to choose sides. Counterread. Mockery is not humor, it's a dominance claim. Your calm must be backed by consequence later, or they'll keep claiming territory. This one doesn't fear your calm emotionally. They fear it economically. Because your calm signals you might stop giving time, attention, help, validation. Parasites need you emotionally available so they can extract without paying. When you become calm, you become selective. Selection kills parasites. So they test you with guilt. You've changed. You're cold now. You think you're better than everyone. That's not feedback. That's a leash attempt. Counterread. Guilt is the parasite's currency. Your calm denies it value. Controllers hate calm because calm makes you hard to steer. They rely on emotional spikes, fear, urgency, guilt, to get compliance. Your calm removes urgency. That makes them feel powerless. So they'll provoke harder. Raising voice, interrupting, cornering you with demands, creating emergencies. They're trying to force tempo. Tempo control is their power. Counterread. The controller isn't angry. You're slipping out of their grip. Your calm is your escape route. This one doesn't want you to fail. They want you to be less. Your calm reads as confidence and restraint, two traits that signal high rank. That threatens their internal hierarchy. So they test you indirectly. Subtle disrespect, dismissive comments, jokes that question your competence, provoking debates in public. They're trying to pull you into a contest where they can win by triggering you. Counterread. Rivals want reaction because reaction levels the field. A calm man stands above their game. This archetype hides power behind rules, procedure, and passive obstruction. They won't insult you directly. They'll disrespect you through delay, denial, and policy. Their contempt is slow. Your calm makes them nervous because calm men don't beg. Calm men escalate strategically. Calm men document, formalize, and punish through systems. So the bureaucrat tests whether you'll comply quietly. Counterread. Politeness can be domination. Your calm must include willingness to escalate, not just endure. This archetype respects calm immediately. They've seen power games. They recognize restraint. They don't need to test you because they don't live off control. They speak directly. They don't bait. They don't recruit the room. They treat boundaries as normal. Counterread. Respect shows in behavior, not compliments. Now here's the psychological installation of this. When you become calm, you become a mirror. And most people hate what they see in the mirror. Your calm exposes their need for control, their addiction to drama, their dependency on your reactions, their weakness behind performance. So they test you to restore comfort. Comfort for them. not for you. This is why your calm must never be passive calm. Passive calm is tolerating disrespect. That's not fear-inducing, that's inviting. Fear-inducing calm is calm that communicates. I see your game. You won't move me. And if you continue, you will pay. That's where we go next, deepening the threat, how your calm will be attacked and why. The moment you become calm in the dangerous way, cold, controlled, unreadable, you become a problem. Not because you're arrogant, because you're no longer easy to govern. Most men think calm makes life easier. It doesn't. It makes warfare cleaner. Because calm threatens the entire social economy built on reactions. Shame, provocation, gossip, intimidation, guilt. Those tools only work on men who flinch. So the room will test your calm the way wolves test a fence. Repeated impacts, probing for weakness, searching for one crack. Here's the brutal law of human nature. People don't punish weakness. They punish strength they can't control. Your calm will be attacked for the same reasons strong borders are attacked. Someone wants access. Someone wants influence. Someone wants to know if you can be pushed. And the attacks come in predictable forms. First, they increase the intensity of bait. Small jabs become sharper, humor becomes disrespect, questions become accusations. Why? Because your calm is denying them feedback. Without feedback, they can't calibrate you. So they push harder to force a visible reaction, anything that tells them where your nerves are. This is why calm is not passive. Passive calm gets worn down. Predatory calm stays intact because it expects escalation and treats it as proof the target is threatened. When they can't control you directly, they control the room around you. They start building a narrative. He's cold now. He thinks he's better. He's arrogant. He's weirdly quiet. He's dangerous. Notice the trick. They turn your calm into a character flaw. That way, if you enforce later, the room already has a story to justify blaming you. This is reputation warfare. It's the oldest tactic in hierarchy. Isolate the strong by making him unlikable, then punish him without consequences. A calm man must anticipate this. If you're surprised by the smear, you'll rush to defend your image. And defending your image is still being controlled. Some attacks don't look hostile. They look friendly. They try to pull you back into the old version of you. Come on, talk. Why so serious? Relax. Don't be like that. This is not kindness. This is an attempt to restore the old contract where you were emotionally available for their comfort. Your calm disrupts the social rhythm. People hate disruption. They will pressure you to return to predictable patterns so they can feel safe again. The man who caves becomes harmless. Another attack is tempo warfare. They rush you, interrupt you, demand immediate answers, create urgency, push deadlines, corner you with questions in public. Why? Because calm requires control of tempo, and tempo control is dominance control. If they can force you to respond on their timing, they regain the steering wheel. That's why some people don't want your opinion. They want your reaction on command. When provocation fails, they punish you by removing rewards. Cold shoulder exclusion silence, withholding cooperation. This is designed to trigger your old addiction, the need to be accepted. A calm man who fears being disliked will fold here. He'll chase, repair, over-explain, and re-enter the social cage voluntarily. So the test becomes simple. Can you tolerate isolation without selling your sovereignty? Because calm that makes people fear you is calm that survives loneliness. In every court, every gang, every battlefield, the man who stayed unmoved under insult was treated differently. Not because he was nice, because the room assumed he had options. Options create fear. A man with no options begs. A man with options waits. A man with options can leave or punish. That's why calm is perceived as threat. It suggests you're not trapped, and trapped men are safe to disrespect. Your calm will be attacked because it changes your rank, and the attacks are not random. Each structured attempts to regain control of your tempo, your image, and your nervous system. If you don't expect this, you'll think you're being targeted. You are, not because you're weak, because you stopped being easy. Calm only becomes fear when it's paired with consequence. Otherwise, it's just quiet weakness. An obedient man sitting still while people take inches off his dignity. So here is the Machiavellian calm dominance protocol, a set of moves that turns calm into authority, authority into fear, and fear into respect. Not respect from love, respect from risk. Because the only thing that reliably stops disrespect is perceived cost. Explaining is the most common failure mode. A man gets provoked, stays calm, then tries to clarify, smooth it over, or make sure there's no misunderstanding. That's a surrender move disguised as maturity. You don't clarify with people who are testing you, you price them. Calm is not conversation, calm is leverage. When provoked, your first move is stillness. Pause, silent, neutral face, slow breath, no micro smile, no defensive posture. This is not to look zen. This is to break tempo control. Provocation works because it forces speed. Speed creates mistakes. Speed creates emotional leakage. Speed makes you react like prey. Stillness says, you don't control the pace. Then you look directly, brief, controlled, and let the silence hang long enough to make them feel the weight of their own behavior. Most men fear silence. That fear is what makes them talk. Talking gives away power. After stillness, you deliver a single sentence. No lectures, no moralizing, no I feel, examples of the tone. Don't speak to me like that. That won't happen again. Try that differently. Stop. The shorter the line, the higher the rank it signals. Long explanations are for lower status. You speak like policy, not like a wounded boy, and then you stop again. This creates a psychological effect. They feel you are not in discussion. You are in enforcement mode. Here's the difference between a calm man who is feared and a calm man who is ignored. Feared calm always carries cost. If they cross a line, something changes immediately. You end the interaction, you leave the room, you withdraw attention, you stop cooperating, you cancel access, no drama, no announcement, just action. If you set a boundary and keep giving the same access, you train them that your words are decorative. Words without cost are background noise. So you attach cost quickly and proportionally, like a surgeon cutting out infection before it spreads. The room tests you by forcing timing. They demand immediate answers. They rush you. They corner you publicly. They throw accusations to make you defend yourself fast. Your move is delay. I'll respond when I'm ready. Not now. We're done here. Delay is dominance because it denies their authority over your nervous system. A man who can delay is a man with options, and people fear men with options. Sometimes the most feared calm is not a sentence, it's disappearance. If someone keeps provoking, you don't keep standing there to prove you're calm. That's ego. That's performance. You end the interaction without ceremony. You turn, you leave, you disengage. No final word. No eye roll, no dramatic statement. This move does two things psychologically. It punishes them by removing the stage. It signals you don't need them to validate your position. A man who can walk away without noise is terrifying to manipulators. If contempt happens in front of others, your correction must be immediate. Not loud, immediate. Because if the room witnesses disrespect and you stay, your rank drops socially. Then every future boundary looks like a late tantrum. So you correct in the moment with a short line, then apply cost. Not like that. Pause, I'm leaving. We're done. Walk away, this protects your status. Fear doesn't come from one strong moment. It comes from predictability of enforcement. If you enforce once, then fold later, you become a toy. People will test you endlessly because they know you're inconsistent. So the protocol ends with a brutal requirement. You must enforce every time. Not because you're sensitive, because you're building a reputation. This man is calm. And when he moves, it costs you. That reputation is what makes calm become fear. You don't learn calm. You execute the man who needs reactions. because the reactive version of you is not a temperament. It's an identity built on two addictions. The addiction to being respected without enforcing, the addiction to winning emotionally instead of winning strategically. That identity is why people don't fear you. They read it and think, he can be pulled. So the reactive you has to die, not theatrically, structurally, like cutting a tumor out of the nervous system. Here's what the reactive man does every time. He rushes to correct disrespect with emotion. He argues to prove he's right. He explains to prove he's fair. He stays to prove he's strong. He escalates loudly to regain control after he already lost it. That's why he gets played. He's predictable. Predators don't fear strong men. They fear unpredictable enforcement. And reactive men are the most predictable because their emotions write their script for them. This is the replacement process. Identity death and identity installation. The reactive man wants to be respected without conflict. He wants respect the way a child wants love, freely given, unconditional, permanent. But respect in adult hierarchy is conditional. It's earned through standards and consequence. So you kill the reflex to chase respect through tone, explanation, or approval. New reflex. If disrespected, I do not persuade. I enforce. That shift alone ends 80% of your problems. Reactive men are addicted to the room's judgment. If people like them, they feel powerful. If people disapprove, they feel weak. That makes them governable through shame. So the room can steer them. Relax. Don't be so serious. You're overreacting. And the reactive man folds because he fears being seen as the bad guy. A Machiavellian man understands the room is not a moral judge. The room is an audience shaped by incentives and fear. You don't outsource rank to an audience. You set it through behavior. Reactivity is speed, a fast reply, a fast defense, a fast outburst, a fast joke to soften tension. Speed is how people control you. They create urgency, and your nervous system obeys. So the new identity is built on a discipline most men don't have: delay. Delay is not silence out of fear. It's silence out of command. You pause before answering. You choose one sentence instead of 10. You let discomfort exist without fixing it. Men who can delay cannot be steered. That is why they're feared. Reactive men decide boundaries in the moment. That's why they lose. In the moment, pressure wins. So you install laws, not arguments, not explanations. Pre-written consequences that activate without emotion. When disrespect appears, a boundary is enforced, and it comes with an immediate cost. No discussion, no warning. When someone tries to bait you, you don't react. You go silent. Access is removed. When there's an attempt to humiliate you in public, you correct it once, calmly, and then you leave. You don't stay where games are being played. And when the pattern repeats, there's no escalation. There's a downgrade, permanent. Automatic enforcement turns you from emotional to structural. You stop reacting and start governing. Reactive men talk too much. They argue, explain, prove, justify. They think more words equals more control. It doesn't. More words equals more exposure. A calm man is feared because his words are scarce and therefore heavy. So you kill the identity that needs to be heard and install the identity that can be silent without shrinking. Silence with posture is power. Silence without posture is avoidance. You're building the first. This is the man you become. He is calm because he's already decided what he will tolerate. He is feared because he doesn't need to win emotionally. He wins structurally. He is unreadable because he doesn't leak. He is respected because he applies consequences without heat. He doesn't keep peace. He controls terrain. You stop being the man who tries to look calm. You become the man whose calm is simply the surface of an enforced internal order. And when people feel that order, they stop testing you, not because you begged them, because they sense the cost. Here's the final warning. Calm is not automatically power. Calm can be domination, or it can be surrender with better posture. Most men who chase calm end up becoming quiet servants, soft-spoken, patient, endlessly tolerant, because they confuse calm with morality. And morality, in power games, is often a leash. So understand the rule. Calm only creates fear when it's backed by consequence. Without consequence, your calm becomes a signal that you can be violated safely. People don't fear a calm man who never enforces. They exploit him. They disrespect him with confidence because they know he won't do anything. He'll breathe. He'll stay mature. He'll swallow it. That's not mastery. That's self-erasure. So let's define the two outcomes clearly. This is the good man, calm. He stays calm to avoid conflict. He stays calm to preserve relationships. He stays calm to prove he's not emotional. He stays calm because he fears being disliked. The room reads this as, he needs approval more than he needs respect. So they test him, then they tax him. Mockery here, boundary push there, little humiliations, and he stays calm. The tests escalate because nothing stops them. Over time, his calm becomes his prison. People treat him like furniture, useful, present, silent. Then one day he snaps, and the room labels him unstable. That's the trap. Submission calm builds pressure until it becomes an explosion, and the explosion justifies contempt. This is the Machiavellian calm. It's not peaceful, it's controlled. He stays calm because he has options. He stays calm because his boundaries are automatic. He stays calm because he doesn't need to win emotionally. He stays calm because he will enforce, quietly. The room reads this as, this man is not safe to disrespect. That's fear. Fear isn't screaming. Fear is caution, and caution is the beginning of respect. The elite rule, you must be willing to become disliked. Here's the price. To become calm enough that people fear you, you must be willing to be seen as cold. You must be willing to be called arrogant. You must be willing to be mislabeled. Because when you enforce boundaries, weak people always rewrite you as the villain. They have to. Otherwise, they'd have to admit they were exploiting you. So if you can't tolerate being disliked, you can't be feared. You'll negotiate. You'll soften. You'll explain. You'll fold. And your calm will become submission. The final test. Do you protect your standards under pressure? Anyone can be calm in comfort. The question is whether you stay calm when you're publicly provoked, you're shamed, you're baited, you're threatened with rejection, you're tempted to set the record straight. That's where real calm is forged. In the moment you want to react, but choose to enforce instead. Not by yelling, by changing access, because consequences don't require emotion. Consequences require decision. If you want this calm, real calm, the kind that changes the room's posture when you enter, then prove you're not a consumer of power content. Prove you're an operator. Pick one place where you've been tolerating disrespect because you wanted to look calm. Next time it happens, pause, deliver one sentence, apply one cost, leave if needed, no explanation. No, I feel. No debate. And if you can't do that, then accept the truth. You don't want calm. You want approval. The world rewards men who enforce. It uses men who endure. If you're building the feared calm, write one word: discipline.